I can't hear you, Aaron. Aaron, I can't hear you. What happened? Aaron. Oh, no. Aaron. I can't hear you. I can see you. I can see everything. Like you're looking great.
All
Looking
right,
great
there
today.
we go.
I can see you. I can't hear you.
How
There
about
you
now? There
are.
we go.
Oh man.
You know, it doesn't matter how much you test or set up. Everything will be fine until you hit that live button. We just got on early, tested audio, tested all the scenes. Everything was looking great. And then I had to unplug and replug my mic back in once we started because that's how it works. Hey, it's Friday afternoon here, so welcome to SketchUp Live. Thank you for hanging out with you guys. I'm Aaron, and with me is my buddy Donovan.
Yep, I was the panicking voice at the intro to all of this. How's it going, everybody? Happy Friday.
Yeah, it's you can always try, you can always plan, you can always think you know what's going to happen, but yeah, there's a fickle fate there. Yeah, where's everybody at? Where's everybody coming in from? Where we got people saying hi from, Donovan?
So far, hello from Arizona, from Rich.
Ooh. Is it warm in Arizona right now? We're in I'm in Colorado, and we're definitely finally getting fall. So it's at the weather. We're at the time of year that I call leave my hoodie at the office on accident weather, where it's like 40 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit in the morning, but like 70 plus in the afternoon. So yeah, it's there. But I did just get back from London. I was in London for over a week, and they have rain there, which we don't have here, and that was something. They keep a lot of water in their air too, which we don't do here. So anyhow, speaking of water, we're going to model a diver's helmet. We're going to do stuff before that, though. Not much. One reminder, wanted to hand out. We are less than a month from 3D Basecamp 2024 in Las Vegas, and tickets are still available. So if you're on the fence in any way, shape, or form, now's the time. Come and get it. Come join us. It'll be awesome to see you there. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Donovan will be there. I'll be there.
Yeah.
6,000 other people will be there.
There is a face attached to this, so you can come see in person.
That's right. It's going to be fun. It'll be a good time. Please join us. Love to see you. But that's really it. We're just going to kind of hop in and just do this thing. This is not connected to anything in particular. I guess anything you do in October, you could say is a Halloween costume thing. But yeah, we're going to model a diving helmet because it's cool looking, and that's all the excuse I need. So here we go.
I don't think I've ever seen a diver as a Halloween costume. Maybe I just don't go to enough upscale Halloween parties, but you know.
That's pretty high end. Yeah. I guess you could make this out of duct tape with a balloon. So the thing we're doing is something along these lines. We're going to model this. I don't have any dimensions. I don't have any... I have this. This is everything I will be working from right here. So we're gonna do this. I haven't really planned for much other than downloading this image. So yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna do anything on here. I'm gonna try to do it all with native tools though. I don't see anything on here where I'm like, oh no, that's gonna be hard with native tools. I don't got that vibe anywhere on here. The one tricky part might be this collar, the way it loops like this, but I think I got some thoughts on how to do that. So yeah, so this
is for the listening audience, whenever Aaron says it's not going to be hard, what he means is that it's not going to be hard for Aaron. If you're not on Aaron's level of SketchUp proficiency,
keep watching.
Keep watching.
All right. Let's do this thing. Let's start with a sphere. So with a sphere, I'm going to draw a circle, and then I'm going to snap vertically, draw another circle, select the bottom, tools, follow me, click the other one, and we have a sphere. I've said this before, and actually I'm gonna up level that just a second. I'm gonna back up. A lot of people go, why isn't there a sphere tool? And there's actually lots of extensions that will quickly and with minimal fuss or work create primitive geometries. You just drag a shape in and drop it. If you can't create a sphere in about 10 seconds or less, you just gotta practice more, because I feel like that's where you should be. You should be able to do that. That would be where I would recommend getting to. I'm going to double the number of sides in both of these circles. So I'm going to say 48. Grab this one and say, oops, there we go, 48. And then do that again. Select this, tools, follow me. I did a video on that a while back. I think it was called 6-second sphere, because alliteration. That's why 6 seconds became the goal, was to make 6-second sphere sound good. All right. So I'm gonna grab that right now and make it a group. Just not for anything, any particular reason, but just to make it easier to grab onto. All right, so some general shapes we have here. So I have this ring going around. See, it's a couple different pieces, and that drops into kind of a neck piece. And that neck piece hits this, what I want to call a Pringles chip shape that we got going on here. This should be fairly easy. I don't think this is not going to be a problem. What I'm going to do is I'm going to save. Was anybody expecting that so early?
We've already got a comment on on you saving. So,
all right, I got a question for everybody here. I'm on, what am I on? I'm on Mac Sonoma. And every couple of weeks or so, my shortcut to my desktop disappears from my favorites over here. Does anybody else see that? Anybody else have that happen to them? I save everything to my desktop. My desktop is like where everything I'm working on goes on the desktop, and then after it's done, it ends up archiving different places. But for some reason, I can't keep my desktop over here. So I just wonder if anybody else has seen that. It's driving me crazy. All right. That had nothing to do with anything. I just saw that and like to share. So I'm going to start with the broad shapes, the big shapes. A lot of these shapes, so these, the windows and the greeblies. I know they're not greeblies. Everything on here has a specific function of keeping a human being alive. But I don't know what they are, so I'm not going to actually pretend or say anything like that. If you guys know, though, I mean, do shout it out. Marty
Lawrence
says,
is saying the collar shape is a hyperbolic surface.
yeah, that's what I said, Pringle shape.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pringles, maybe that's not, it probably doesn't translate everywhere. Not everybody has Pringles, probably. So,
does everybody have Pringles?
I did see Pringles in London last week, so I know they're there. But they're called crisps and not chips. So,
yeah. When I lived in Taiwan, they had like Lay's. Weird flavors of Lay's, but they did have Lay's. I don't remember seeing Pringles though.
They do have different flavors for sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab everything below here and delete it. And then I did that little line wrong. I'm drawing an edge again, and then we'll have that. And I can unsoften and unsmooth. Oh, just go unsoften and unsmooth. There we go.
Randy says they have Pringles in Canada.
There, so I know someplace safe to travel to. I don't think I went far enough down on that. I'm going to go down one more course. No, I think one of the funnest parts about traveling is trying local cuisine. I've mentioned this before. So if I ever travel any place, I tend to try to ask, like, what food should you eat while you're in this place before you leave? And if you go to different countries, you of course get different dishes, and that's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, like 75% of the United States thinks they have the best barbecue. Um, so I don't even ask a lot of places because I know that's all I'm going to get. All right, I'm going to offset this ring out a little bit, and I'm going to pull that down. Oops. Oh, Donovan's suffering from a little bit of a sinus
I'm sorry.
infection.
I tried to mute before I coughed, but
Not quick enough.
Ahmad says we do have Pringles in Syria, so that's cool.
Hey, someplace else I can go to. So I know I can eat at least that stuff. That's good. All right, so this is the 2 rings that I got right here. Mysterio looking helmet.
Very.
I'm just going to pull this down like that. And then that will intersect with my hyperbolic Pringle.
Lawrence says when Pringles first came to the UK, they were called Stackers for obvious reasons. And speaking of the UK, give a shout out to people that are in the UK. We got people from Kongsberg, Norway, Vancouver, Washington. Got people from Wales, from Syria, Lithuania, Canada, Massachusetts, España, Vancouver. Man,
That's awesome.
All over.
I just saw
Brazil.
Keggy's thing. So we had I was out there for work. We had a leadership meeting, planning meeting, that kind of thing going on, which was cool. I went out early with my wife and we did some sightseeing and that kind of stuff. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody, but here in the US, when we talk about going to the beach or going to the ocean, a lot of times the image that comes up for us is fine sand, waves, swimming. If you go to the seaside in the UK, you're probably not going to swim. I'm sure there's places out there you can swim, but not there. It's a lot of rocks and very, very, very cold water. So just FYI, in case anybody's caught off by that. I didn't show up in my swimsuit or anything like that. I was just letting you know. And I did not
see the cliffs of Dover.
We didn't go to Dover. We went down south to Brighton. My wife lived in the UK for a while when she was younger, so we kind of visited some of the places of her youth. It was kind of fun.
Keg is asking if you happen to try jellied eels.
No. Even if I saw them, probably still no. I also stayed away from the mushy peas. No insult to anybody who wants to eat that, but I didn't. Yeah. I did find a good
peas. Just what they sound like. They're just mushy peas.
Maybe somebody in the chat can explain why they are. But it looks like if somebody handed this to you in the United States, you would think it was guacamole, but it's not. It's mushed up peas, and I don't understand why. So maybe somebody,
like baby food, mushed up peas.
Somebody in our global audience can explain why mushy peas are, because I don't get it. Yeah, I'm gonna let that happen in the chat, and while that happens, this shape right here kind of begs for shape bender or true bend or something like that. So I might come back and do that in the end, but I want to try with native tools first. So what I want to do is I want to start by making that the shape, and I'm going to do that by intersecting a circle from above and then an arc from the side. So I'm going to grab this, make it a group.
And speaking of the true bend extension, Aaron just put out a couple videos using the true bend extension on our YouTube webpage. So if you haven't seen those yet, it's all about modeling leaves. There's some ASMR in there. A lot of good tips and tricks, and in the extension. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out.
Yeah, it's a fun one. That was a good time.
Ooh, Lauren says you take peas, you cook them, add an enzyme, equals mushy peas. Have some with minced pie and chips and gravy.
But still, why? Yeah. I mean, granted, I know that's code for American, and we deep fry anything that sits still long enough. I get it, but I've had it several times in trips to London. Going to pubs and stuff like that. Get some awesome chips out there. You guys have, or French fries for Americans. You guys have some awesome fried potatoes. But they always stick in the mushy peas, and I've never got it. I don't know. I don't get it. So something, we'll keep coming back to that. I'm not done with that. But something I want to point out is when you draw an arc, the arc is kind of parallel. It's not, I don't have any Bezier or anything like that installed. But what I tend to do a lot of is grab and use scale to kind of reshape and form the arc after the fact. If I don't get the exact arc I want, because you can get an arc that's basically a Bezier shape like this, whereas the arc you create with the bulge is always going to be, a chunk of a circle. So by using scale, you can actually distort the arc to the point that you lose that circle chunk and end up with more of a, hold on, there's a word, ellipse, a chunk of an ellipse instead. I'm going to take that through like this, so that these two overlap each other. Make that a group. And then it doesn't really matter how I do this, I guess. I'll take these two and then say, no, actually it does. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to grab this surface and say intersect face with the model. And then this is the piece I want to hold on to.
Keggy coming in with some history saying mushy peas derived from the medieval pottage, or thick stew, which was cheap but nutritious. It was also easy to eat because dental care was lacking back then. So there you go.
All right. See, I knew there was a story behind it. Slide back this.
Good looking Pringle.
My middle. Here's my middle here. There we go. Okay. Like that. That works all right. I think I'm still going to try a true bend version. So with this, that's kind of came down to a little bit too much of a point, I think. So I'm going to turn on my edges. I'm going to grab just the bottom two sections like that, and I'm going to use scale to squish those. And then also,
Ooh.
That did not work the way I was hoping.
Is it supposed to bend like that?
That was not what I wanted. Look away. I don't know what I did. Did not do that the way I was hoping to do that. Let's try that again. So I'm going to squish this up. Why is it? It's adding another face in there, which is kind of weird. Let me do this as two separate pieces. That'll help. So, there we go.
Ooh, Signature on YouTube says, "Hey, Aaron.
Hey.
This is a recommendation for a future model. We want you to model the Ward W. Willits house of Frank Lloyd Wright." Are you familiar with that one?
I know what I say anytime somebody says they want another Frank Lloyd Wright building.
Well, it sounds like it's a Ward W. Willits house. Not a Frank Lloyd Wright house.
All right, then. I'm not opposed to it, but I have no idea about it, so I shan't reply.
Oh, that's an interesting looking house. That is an interesting looking house.
Don't like that.
I mean, it's very square. It's squares on squares with a
Hmm,
roof.
that doesn't sound so bad. Squares are not bad in and of themselves. All right, so
That might be one I could model because it's easy.
oh, hey, there we go.
Hey, hey.
Sounds like Donovan's committed to that. Yeah. Oops. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangular shape. Sometimes I might refer to as a rectanguloid, even though that's not really a thing. I'm going to see what happens now. If I come in here, I'm going to grab, I'm going to weld this. I'm going to say tools. I'm going to say follow me. Click outside, close group, and then choose this shape. That doesn't look right. All right, let's try that again. All right, so there's no reason to keep this in context. I'm gonna try this. Explode this. Weld that. And then tools. Follow me. What's going on here? There's something weird going on with this thing. Oh,
Rudy in the YouTube comment says, "I just started learning SketchUp and I never knew it was so fun and addictive."
that it is, Rudy. That's why some of us, not me, but some other people here are here on their weekends to watch this, or maybe like 4 in the morning or whatever silliness. They like it. They like it that much. All right, so that worked out okay, but I don't like it. There's a couple things I don't like about that. But I kind of want to fix it. I kind of want to fix what I did. So one issue, I'm going to grab this and make it a group. And I'm going to move it so it's in like this. By having it go out on the outside, I got some weird stuff where it hit the inside corners and I had corners overlapping corners and it didn't weld good. That can happen if you're moving off the center of a piece rather than the edge of the piece. So I'm going to see if this helps. I'm going to try this. Tools, follow me here with this guy. All right. Oh, because I made it a group. Sorry. Sometimes
Randy says, "Just wait until Rudy gets his 3D mouse. We'll never see him again."
That's right. Welcome and goodbye. That was worse. Yeah, I think this is a job for upright extruder, to be honest. Yeah, I could make this work. I'd be spending a bunch of time cleaning up geometry and doing some stuff. I'm going to not mess with this anymore. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to make that circle 48 sides. I'm using 48 rather than 24 just to give myself a little more roundness. Everything on this thing is round, so my large circles, I'm just going to use 48. I'm going to go ahead and give that a little bit of depth. And I'll offset this actually first. Oh, that's good. I'm going to offset this that much. I'm going to pull this up that much. I'm going to make that into its own group. And I'm going to align it with my existing model. I'm going to turn my edges on so I can... You know what I should do? I'm going to say that I should do this and then not do it because that's just kind of the sort of thing I do. I should put this, the center of this helmet on... What? I should put the center of this helmet onto the axis, then everything will always line up. Be so much easier. Let's do that. Grab everything this way. Just stick it down here. Whoop. There we go. Sorry, Teddy, you are not needed right now.
It's not a bad looking doorknob.
Multi-purpose. All right, there we go.
Yep.
All right. So with that, now all we have to do is take this and bend it down. Now, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this into a component. And I'm going to copy it over here. So the way that TrueBend works, TrueBend is an awesome extension. It's super simple, and all it does is takes geometry and bends it as if around a rod or something like that. So in one axis, bends it 0 to 360 degrees, and that's all it does. It's super simple. I love super simple extensions. It has one rule, and that is it's going to bend around the red axis. So as I look at this right now, if I was to go up here and say Tools, TrueBend, and then try to bend this, it's going to try to bend it this way, which will give a cool shape, but not the shape I want. So, whoops. I undoed too much. So how do I fix this? Well, what I want to do is I want to bend this way. So what I would want to do in that case is take my geometry like this, temporarily rotate it 90 degrees. Yeah, that'll work. Now if I grab it, and don't worry about what's happening over here. I'll get this straightened later. Tools, TrueBend. I can bring that out. All right, and then now we can clean this up a little bit. Nope.
Randy says, just spitballing, but I wonder if you could drape the collar onto the Pringle-shaped piece.
I'm not sure I followed that, I'll be honest. But I think this is going to work out okay. Now this is causing a little bit of distortion with the band. The band is getting squished a little bit in various axes, but personally I'm okay with that right this second.
Luan from LinkedIn says, hello.
Hello. Hello back at you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
If you didn't know, we're actually streaming on multiple platforms simultaneously right now. So we got comments coming in from YouTube, from LinkedIn, from Facebook, and from all over the world.
Yeah. So if you don't like what's going on one platform, you can always duck out and try another. All right. That's working all right. I like that. I like that. Got the
it's good.
little bit
I like
bigger
it.
here. Good. I'm going to call this a bib right here thing. All right. I do have some issues with this. I want to see if I can fix it. I want to see if I can change this. I want to grab just that inside piece, and use scale to thicken that up a little. Sometimes, I'll be honest with you guys, there's a lot of times where I do stuff and I don't know if it's going to work when I start it. And this is one of those. But
Randy expounded a little. He says, put the collar above the Pringles piece and use the drape tool to drop it down. The same way that you drop a road onto a hillside.
Right. And that'll break the surface. But then I would still have to use something like joint push pull to get the ring depth. Anybody believe that?
Rudy's asking, is True Bend free?
I believe so. It's on Extension Warehouse right now. You can go check it out, and then you'll know. It's called True Bend, all one word. TrueBend. True Bend. All right, so what we got here is we have these wing nuts. They're fancy wing nuts, but they are just wing nuts. It looks like we have one on each top of each shoulder, one in the front. I'm going to assume one in the back that have like little washers on them. And then I got two of them here that don't have washers on them. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to keep this in context, keep my group separate just because it makes it easier to model. I'm going to find the top right there. I'm going to draw a flat circle like that. I'm going to pull that shape up a little bit to give it some depth. I'm kind of going for that little collar right there. It looks like what happens is this washer's kind of like beveled maybe. No, it looks like it's square right there. Maybe I don't know. It's hard to work off of a this particular image, not the highest quality. But then I got a circle on the inside with my little handle things and then the bolt coming up through the middle. So I'm going to get something that is along those lines. That's the standard I set for myself. Something that looks something like what I'm trying to model. Like that. It looked like it tapered a little bit, so I am modeling this because notice I'm modeling this on the flat, so it is flat like that. Even if the final piece didn't end up on the flat, I would probably recommend doing it this way just because it's so much easier than trying to do that on an angle. Angles just make
Kegi
everything
says,
so much
save?
work.
Save again?
Probably a great idea. I'm getting some lag right here. I don't know what's going on. I might have to... I'm exploring the shapes right now. Command S. All right. We're sculpting right now. I don't know how much any of this is going to work right. Without that turned out pretty darn good. Yeah, so just push that up, pulled it back, and then tied it into the rest like that, looking pretty sweet. I'm going to go ahead and... Okay, we'll just grab this. Grab the surfaces that make up this piece.
Yeah, it's also hard because you're working at a picture that was taken at an angle.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of lens distortion.
If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it, you know? All right, now I'll get rid of
You wouldn't just be Aaron the SketchUp guy. You would be
everybody.
a SketchUp guy.
Yeah, who wants that?
Not the SketchUp guy, just a SketchUp guy.
All right, so I'm gonna put a new circle in the middle. Should have done this before I broke broke the circle into pieces. Oh, there we go. No, there we go. Pull that up a little bit. All right, and that gives me what I feel is a pretty good representation of this. This actually looks like it's significantly larger though, so I'm gonna scale it up. I grab it, make it a component. I'm gonna call it nut with washer. I want to brag, but I did not misspell anything in that name. I do want to use a glue too. I'm going to go ahead and set my component axes. Shoot, I can't very easily see. Let's turn upside down. I want to get this middle point right here on the bottom as my snap point. There we go. Just use X-ray to peek inside. And I'm going to come in here. I'm going to grab all of this. I'm going to scale it up. Make that a little bit larger. Yeah, that looks like about right. And then
Keggy is reassuring, saying Aaron will always be the SketchUp guy. There can
Aw.
be no substitutes.
Wow, thanks. All right.
Aaron the ketchup guy. That would be a new title.
Yeah, I don't want that. I really like ketchup. That's all. Never been a huge fan of that. I think, honestly, we're off topic, but you brought us here. I'm not a real big fan of mixing savory and sweet, so that's why I don't go in for ketchup very much. Plus, I'm from Chicago, so if I have a hot dog, you should be sticking mustard on that and not ketchup. So I don't know. There's lots of things there. I got baggage.
Lawrence coming in with the jokes. Do you know the best way to avoid shark attacks when in a diving suit?
Don't go in the water?
Yeah, stay on dry land.
Oh, nailed it! All right. I didn't even look up. I didn't even look at what the answer was. I like it. Nice one. I appreciate that, Lawrence. All right, so I'm going to go into component.
Marty says, Aaron, the mushy peas guy.
You can show yourself out.
Ooh, this is a good question. Randy says, who would play Aaron in a movie?
Ooh, I like that. Let's
if
hear
you
it.
could cast yourself.
Huh. That is a good question. I was hoping I'd be able to glue this onto the surface, but it does not seem to be working the way I want it to. All right, I'm just going to stick it. Oh, because the surface is broken right here. I don't have a flat surface right there. That. Can't place it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come into this. I'm going to turn off glue 2.
Felina says use snaps.
Yeah, that would have been a good way to do this.
Keggy recommended Ryan Reynolds.
I'll take that.
You?
I got it.
Misty says Tyler Hines.
That is a name I do not know.
He's a Hallmark actor, apparently. Tyler Hines.
I mean, he sounds like a good-looking guy.
Oh, I could see it. I could see it. Yeah.
I mean, how's that compare with Ryan Reynolds? Let's be honest. I want. That's really all I care about.
Ooh, Lawrence is saying Javier Bardem would be a good Aaron.
The No Country for Old Men guy?
Yeah.
I've never. I was once asked if I had Croatian blood, but I've never been mistaken for somebody of Hispanic descent.
Patrick O'Brien says Tom Hanks.
Could do a lot worse than Tom Hanks. All right, I'm going to copy this over to the side because I want to make these wing nuts with no washer. And I think I'm just going to grab this bottom, move it straight up to here.
Ron Livingston. Ron Livingston? That's another one.
I would take Ron Livingston. I like him. Office Space.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
the
Office
Office Space
Space.
guy. If you guys haven't seen Office Space, by the way, you should go see, or you should rent Office Space. That is.
Marty says Colin Farrell.
All right. I like this. You guys are making me feel really good about myself. So I'm gonna keep track of all these because I'm gonna tell my wife everybody who all of them. Oops.
John says to make unique. Make unique first. Kagi says make unique.
Okay, opportunity for a learning thing here. Let's say you did this. You copied a component over, edited it all up, and then forgot to make unique. Here's how you save yourself. Select all, Command C to copy, and then undo, 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 undo. All right, then get rid of that. And now I can just say edit, paste in place, and there's my new component. Now I can just say make component, and I will just call this a nut, and set my component axes to be right here. And actually these ones we will glue. All right, now I can grab this and bring this in here, stick that there, stick this one right.
CJ says maybe that guy from NCIS. Which guy from NCIS?
Nope, not that guy.
Studio RT Cool says Will Ferrell.
That one, I don't know if I'm going to add to the list of things I'm impressed by. I like Will Ferrell a lot.
Misty says Jimmy Palmer. Jimmy Palmer?
Yeah, that's that NCIS guy.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm going to copy these. Option copy. And then I'm going to take all four, and I'm going to option copy. There we go. And then, because I don't like that uniformity, I might come in here and rotate those. By using the move rotate, I can rotate them inside the or along the axes of the actual thing. So the component. There we go. Awesome. That's looking pretty cool, you guys. I mean, this is fun. I got some things here. They look like they're orbular. They look round. Couldn't tell if they were like round flat caps, but they actually look like balls on little washers. So that's what I'm going to model real quick. Come in here. Just trying to get an idea of scale. Did something like this. All right. That'll work. And just to make it, like I was saying, to make it easier to work on, I'm going to lay that down flat. That didn't lay down flat. There we go. Pull that up. And then I'll do another circle from the middle. There. Move that straight up until it's about where I think that should be. I think it needs to be a little bigger too. Let's go ahead.
Randy says, so is it the glue option that makes them orient themselves onto the surface?
Yes. I want to use glue where I can. These ones were kind of weird, again, because these ones were actually aligned with a break. So they were the edge. These ones I slapped into the middle of the surface. So you can see that aligned, because they're hitting the surface. These ones were all hitting an edge, so that's why they didn't glue. So I had to not glue those. This one I will glue. Grab this. I don't know why I don't have, I'm going to do this right now. You guys ever wondered how to add a tool you use a lot to the toolbar? Right click, customize toolbar. This is Mac, of course. Somebody once asked why I show Mac or call out Mac shortcuts, and the answer is because I'm working on a Mac. That's it. That's the whole answer. All right, I'm gonna put follow me in there. Done. Now I can just say follow me, click here, and we got our little doohickey. I'm gonna call that, make that a group or a component. This is an orb valve, in case you guys were not familiar. And I want to put that right in the middle of the bottom again. Boom. Now, I can open my components back up, grab my orb valve, right about there. Oh, looking super. And then I will take this and mirror that option. Oops, I grabbed the wrong. Mirror that, grab the red plane, there we go. Option copy to the middle. There we go. Those are in. You think those are on the back too? Probably. We'll get those on the back too. Where are we at time-wise?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be pretty uniform, right? Oh, we're at 50 minutes time-wise.
Perfect. Awesome. Looking good. Cool. So that is really a majority of, that's pretty much everything from here on down. The rest of it, we got windows and this thing and this thing and that thing. Somewhere on here, there's got to be like something that hooks up to like air or something too, right? But I don't know. We don't have the backside of this thing, but that's okay. All right, let's move on to the main mask over here. The mask, the eye holes. I don't know. The window. It's a window. I don't have to get too special. It's a window. All right. So I'm going to draw this flat on the ground to start with. So we're going to start with a simple shape like this. Come up a little bit. And then, actually, I'm going to go a little more than that. And then I'm going to offset. Give me that. And then pull that up a significant amount. And then it looks like, because this is I have a hinge here, and this piece is actually a separate piece. So I'm going to just do that much, and then we'll go offset that, and then pull that back down. I'm going to actually not make this a window that goes all the way through. I'm going to put a flat port. Thank you, Rich. This is totally a port. So I'll model this in two pieces. We'll have the window on the front, and then the base plate back there. So it looks like this does all work off of a hinge right here. So let's see. I'm going to do something like this. This is where I start making up geometry, but trying to stay somewhat faithful to what the original geometry looks like ish. Let's see. I want to. I did it in the middle. Where's my midpoint? I did. Okay. Have this come up like that.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, I'm filling in gaps that don't exist right now. Don't even worry about it. All right, so I have some kind of a hinge thing that pops out. So then we'll do a circle in the middle of this, like that, and then I will take I think this actually kind of tapers a little. No, I'm not going to mess with that. But this will have to be further. This will have to be.
Don't want to mess
out.
with the tapering.
Not at this point. All right, let me shove that back down to the ground. All right, so it's more like this. So we'll come about, say, halfway up. Nope, we'll have to go all the way up. And now I'll put my circle right there to get that rounded over section going back like that. Yes, better. All right. Cool, I like that. That'll work. And then I'm going to grab that, that, and that, and use, man, just, I don't ever set out to try to see how much I can use the mirror command, but I use it a lot. It is just, it's kind of become one of my go-to tools. I'm going to make that into a group, and I'm going to come in here and create a new circle. I'm going to have this circle go just shy of all the way out because I want to create a little bit of a lip. And then I'll pull that up. And then I'll offset that in. And then I'll pull that up. And I'll offset that in. And I'll pull that down. Oop, wrong ring. To there. All right. And now I will come over here.
Bill says, sorry, late to the stream. Speed scrolled to catch up.
Welcome, Bill. All right, so this is the thing I was wondering about, was where this hinge sits. So now that I have the geometry, I'm going to pull this up. So this is at this height. And then this will tie straight back. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm looking for. All right, that's cool.
Randy says, this is like watching surgery.
Some people like surgery. I don't know how to take that. Wait, something weird happened. Look at my edges here. What is this all about? Oh, you right there. Look at that. Okay. Undo, 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 undo. Oh, nope. Too many. Redo. Redo again.
You know, I know you can undo up to 100 times. Does that mean you could redo up to 100 times?
I think so. In fact, I think it might be more than 100 now.
Oh, really?
I think
we're gonna have to change the trivia answer then.
I don't know. It's probably safe to say 100, but I have a feel, or maybe not. Maybe that was a fever dream. I don't know. Maybe I thought about more than 100. That could have been a lie. Yes, that's the kind of stuff I do dream about. More than 100 undos. All right, so I'm going to take that, push that down to here. Make that into a group. And combine those back together. And I'll just grab all this, say intersect with selection, and then I can just come in here. You know, I really should be using cleanup a lot more than I do because I clean up geometry constantly, but I think this maybe is one of those things where it's like, it's kind of fun to go through and clean up a little bit. I don't know.
So Bill, now that he's all cut up, says not wishing to bring this stuff up. But how can Americans complain about mushy peas when you have grits and biscuits and gravy?
All right, so
I would say I would agree with grits because I hate grits. I think they're terrible. But biscuits and gravy, oh,
I
so good.
Have nothing to add to that. You did that perfectly. I was exactly the words I was going to say. Was somebody out there wants to defend grits, they can. I won't ever. But biscuits and gravy, yeah, I understand knocking them; they seem gross, but man, ooh, you get good biscuits and gravy, you're in for a treat.
Well, yeah, flaky biscuits with a pepper gravy. Mm,
Mm,
mm, mm, mm, mm, mm. I'm also not from the South, but I live in the South, so like I
that's
always
true.
figured it might be an acquired taste, grits. Um, and every time it's like that scene in Ted Lasso where he's like, "This is all a big joke, right? You're just trying to make fun of us because this tastes terrible."
Oh, that is mud water. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Uh,
Randy chimed in that Canadians have poutine. Mm, mm, mm.
I I don't know if you're trying to diss poutine, but French fries with gravy and cheese. What's to where? Don't be harassing that. That's art. That's I mean, yeah. I don't know. I had some issues here.
Sorry, am
Uh,
I distracting you?
no, 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 no.
Are
Oh no,
we-
I'm just explaining what happened. Um, I'm realizing that with this hinge, I was trying to move some stuff around, and I distorted some things horribly. So I'm going to temporarily group these two pieces, slide them up, then explode them, and then close this all back up. I probably could have grouped a little bit better in the beginning, had more pieces isolated, and that would have helped me with all of this. Um, yeah, I'll
Peggy
agree.
is helping to clarify, saying in the UK, a biscuit is something more like a cookie. So, putting gravy on that does sound disgusting.
Okay, yes, absolutely. So that would be understandable. That would be upsetting. Gravy cookie. That probably happens out there somewhere. I don't know. There's probably some, yeah, somebody somewhere did that. But biscuit is like it's almost like a savory scone. Because I will say, I don't like scones very much, but I had a scone while I was in the UK, and that was a different creature from the dried out thing that is passed off as a scone in the United States.
Hmm. Randy is saying Aaron even fixes mistakes elegantly.
Oh, thanks, Randy. All right, so I got my hinge. I have my front here. There is a technical term for this is a tighten-y thingy over here, which I think I understand how that works. But I want to go in and do the faceplate real quick first before I do that. I'm kind of thinking what might work. I want to trace something off here, but I don't think it's going to work. I think I'm going to have to draw this on the ground, and then, yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. All right, so as I look at this, this, I think, is the square that would make that up. That would be these 4 screw holes. So if I draw lines like this, grab this, make it a group. That way I can hide everything else. So no. Definitely goes bigger than that. Okay. Try that. I think that'll work. I can't explain what I'm doing because I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay.
One moment.
I think all this talk of food is making people in the comment section hungry.
I'm with you on that. It's definitely lunchtime as soon as the stream's over. I think that'll work. All right, that's gonna work. That edge right there. Get rid of that.
Bill says, couldn't you have selected the arcs on the hinge and then used the move tool to extend the hinge rather than break geometry and rebuild and erase?
Sorry, what?
All right, let me reread that.
Do that all over again.
Couldn't you have selected the arcs on the hinge and used the move tool to extend the hinge rather than break geometry and rebuild and erase?
Possibly, but I still don't quite understand what you're offering. I'm by no means do I ever hope to convey that the way I did something is the only way to do something. What you're saying could totally be right. Oops, I did all that and then realized I can't do all that. I need to keep this. It is possible that what you're saying makes sense. That was definitely not a thought through process. I'm sure there was more elegant ways to do what I did. So, all right, there we go. There's our little clover type shape on the front. I'm having some kind of delay going on. I don't like this. I'm gonna restart SketchUp, which I've learned. I don't know if you guys know this, but you should restart SketchUp like at least once a week. Not how I usually do things, but I'm giving it a try. Anybody else do that? Anybody else leave their SketchUp up and running like always? Yeah, found out it's not the way to do it. Shouldn't do that. All right. So
It's looking like it should.
honestly pretty good. It's all coming together. Totally did that on one piece and should have totally done that before I did all the rest. Oh, come on, man. All right, let's take this. So as I was saying, yes, with the earlier question, probably, yeah, there are definitely better ways to do stuff, but this should not be taken as instructional. We'll just say that. All right, so that looks pretty cool. That whole thing looks like it comes up to get some thickness. And then I'm just going to put these little rivets or screws or whatever in here as extruded circles. I'm not gonna like make those separate pieces or anything like that. I don't see a reason to try to overachieve like that. Boom. It gets the point across is all I'm saying.
All right. So here's a question. You say that. What would a SketchUp model look like if Aaron was overachieving?
Are you asking me that?
Yes, I'm asking you. Like, is there
Probably
a
some.
model that you would say I overachieved on this one?
That'd probably mean using materials at some point would be the quick answer.
So modeling alone isn't overachieving for you. It's
there's probably
adding other elements like
yeah. There's a level of effort that I think gets to beyond the bare minimum. So yeah, that probably. Um,
Bill says the Millennium Falcon.
that was definitely above and beyond. Yeah, several thousand Lego pieces counts as overachieving. I'll take that one. Yes. All right. Something like that is what I'm going to do. Grab all that. And again, with the mirror, I'm going to have to really think about my favorite command because, oop, that did not work. I did not get the right things there. That's just grabbed wrong. I always say, it's a little tongue in cheek, but that's how I roll, that undo is my favorite, but I'm starting to think maybe mirror is my new favorite tool.
You mean the flip tool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. If I was trying to be correct in what I said, yes, the flip tool.
Because I would concur with you. The flip tool, I think I use way more than any other of the standard tools in SketchUp.
That's way too big. That got way bigger than it should. All right, I'm going to try to chop this piece off. Dang it. I gotta draw another edge here. I'm going to chop this off and make it smaller. There we go.
Oh, so somebody posted a back view of the helmet on our forum.
Excellent.
Apparently, there's
stuff. There's stuff
nozzles. Nozzles. I'm guessing are the air hoses. Air hose? Yeah.
That would make a lot of sense. Yes. Good.
Yeah. You know that whole breathing thing.
Yeah. People like
Ooh,
that.
Randy says, I wonder how much total time Aaron spends in SketchUp in a week.
I'll be honest with you guys. Nowadays, if it's not for a video, I don't hang out in SketchUp as much as I used to. It really is more of a thing I get to do. Where it used to be a have to.
Yeah. John's asking how the chicken coop went. It went great. I found out after getting there that it's going to be for 3 chickens. She has 3 chickens. So this is like the most luxury chicken coop for 3 chickens. But got it in there, got it all set up, got a couple pictures that I need to post on social media, and it's now a fantasy tavern home for literally a couple of chickens.
That's awesome. That's very different. I was seeing if I could reuse my nut from before, but that's a very different looking shape.
Yes, a little bit.
This feels like that. And I feel like we got like almost Mickey Mouse ear looking things here, so come in, try to draw this knot on center. So it'll be perpendicular to that. It's going to sit somewhere like, whoop, what? Didn't quite make it.
Kiki says
Almost.
it's a wing nut.
It is.
It is a wing nut?
It is a wing nut. Yeah. Take that shape and I'm going to bring that up like that. I'm going to pull it over like that. I'm going to pull it down like that, just to give myself a working surface, because I can see it does go over. It actually looks like it goes down a little bit further than that. So pull it down a little more. And then something. Whoops, too much. Over erased. All right, so it looks like we got kind of a. I'm gonna stop looking because it's really not enough there to actually build off of. We're moving into imaginary land here pretty quick, so I'm just gonna do this.
John says, yeah, John says a hidden Mickey wing nut.
There you go. That's perfect.
Yeah.
This, I mean, honestly, this could be a Disneyland souvenir. I don't really know. All right, and then I'll go grab an arc that goes from there down to the face here. Push that across like that, like that, like that, like that. And we have something that could not be called a wing nut.
Could not be called.
All right, and we'll take that, and I'm going to rotate it off the center, 180 degrees. Boom. Scale's a little off, but it does the job. All right. I'm assuming that this sits into a shape very similar to this, so I'm going to actually chop this back off again. Copy that. Come on here. Better make this into a group real quick. All right. Edit, paste in place, and I'm going to drop that straight down to here. Oops.
Misty says, what did Aaron drink in high school? High C. High C. High C. High C. High C's. Helmet. Okay.
Caught it. Caught it. Took a sec.
Randy says you should save if you feel so inclined.
Save. You know.
Save.
Oops. Saving's obviously a good thing. You should do it a lot, for sure. But I gotta say, it is still one of our top live video is still Aaron not saving. So
Aaron not saving. Oh man.
So I'm just saying there's a time and place. It's all right. So something like that is going to have this come down into, and then I think it's like kind of got a hole drilled through there so that can, when it loosens up, swing out of the way so that this can open the other direction. I'm going to keep it very, very simple. This way, I'm going to come halfway up this, put a circle right here. That big, and this will be the piece on which that pivots. And that would get the job done. For lack of detail, I think I'm happy with that geometry. And I'm going to call that finished I take that, flip it upright, and now here, this is the I don't think I say it's the tough part, but now I got to get it on the circle. I got to get it on not the circle, but the sphere. So let's turn on geometry here. Try to find the middle. The middle's right here. This is the middle. Align it vertically to the largest axis. So that is centered. And now bring it out like this until that biggest most ring shows. Like that. Holy cow. Look at how well that sits in there. I mean, of course.
It's nice.
Yeah. Now I just come in here.
It's good.
Just cut this out. Any place we see geometry gets erased. I could do some intersecting stuff, but because I put all those hinges and all that stuff on there, it's going to look less than ideal once I start whacking that stuff out of there. Nope, that one was not a good idea. It makes me a little claustrophobic to think that that's what you got to see out of.
I know,
I mean,
right? Like, how could you be efficient at doing anything when your area of viewing is just so small?
Oh, terrible. I'm not like, I don't have like a real serious fear of drowning, but I have a healthy respect for water and the fact that I can't breathe it. I would not like to be in this thing in the water. I feel pretty good about that, though. I feel confident in the fact that I'm, an earth roamer and not made for ocean. I'm gonna weld my edges. I'm gonna bring that up. I got kind of like a little thing going on there. Kind of looks like it goes maybe in a little bit and then comes up, and then I have a little ridge where this piece bolts on. So I'm gonna offset that a little bit and then bring that up. And then I'll just make a fake ridge there.
Patrick says it could be a design for a new design for a VR headset.
We have any VR enthusiasts in the audience today? I was just curious what everybody thought of the next step of VR. Those, I can't remember what they're called, the glasses things.
Yeah, the glasses.
Just curious if anybody had any thoughts or opinions on that. I have thoughts, opinions,
They're
but
more
I
AR than VR, right?
Yeah, because it doesn't shut down your field of view. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Patrick says he is.
And what do you think? What do you think, Patrick?
Lawrence says no to the glasses.
That's the answer, is no. I mean, here's my own personal opinion. This in no way reflects anybody other than me. But I think that in order for AR VR to be adopted as part of the mainstream, it has to do something like the glasses. So that's my thought. Because I don't think few are the situations where I want a set of goggles that get rid of all the view of everything else around me, you know? So
You
that's
know,
my
it's funny
thought.
when I was in when I was in college and studying filmmaking, we watched this independent film called Sight. It was like it wasn't a full length feature film or anything. It was a short film, but it was about a future where everything is augmented reality. So your apartment is empty, and then you furnish it with like AR stuff that's projected through your through your lenses. And it made me so sad because I'm like, especially looking at it now, I'm like, oh, so like nobody's ever gonna own anything anymore. It's just gonna be projections of things that we digitally own because that's where we're going apparently. I think that's why I like woodworking and making and stuff so much, just because just the sheer tangibility of like, hey, I made this thing and now it's sitting outside the window right now looking at me while there's snow on the mountains.
That's hard to argue with.
Mm.
And I think it is very, it sounds like you just described the metaverse, by the way, with the
Yeah.
no actually owning anything. It's just stuff. That's, I feel like that's the whole point of the metaverse is, yeah, virtual, all of it. I made these little windows that kind of, or little guards that stick up here. You can kind of see how they sit up like that. Um, I just made those as separate pieces, and then I'm just going to use solid tools to join them together. There we go. Grab all that, make that a group, and then we'll do the same thing we did before, except this one's going to be a little bit trickier because we'll start right here at the top. Let's rotate it vertical though.
Lawrence is talking about Google Lens and how guys as a university project connected it to AI and it identified people as they were walking around and brought up personal info.
It's a Minority Report, man. It's where we are.
Yeah. Randy says, anybody remember the novel The Naked Sun? I don't think I've ever read that one.
That's not one I recall. What about it? Is that where we are? Is that the
Maybe dystopian. Bill says that's what I meant with the hinges as the way you unstretch the cross pieces.
cool? I'm gonna grab this. And we'll come down here and do a new circle for this earpiece. Just gonna come up. Pretty simple. This was not quite the right size.
Timothy is saying this is a head-sized Vegas sphere, which you can see if you come to 3D Basecamp next month.
It all ties together.
Yeah. There's a segue, right?
That was a heck of a segue. Nice work. That's not a rectangle. What do you do? Or square. Give me a square. Give me a square. Come on, give me a square. Oh, give me a square. Okay. I'll do it myself. I will say that one thing live streaming has done for me is got me much better at abandoning efforts and moving on quicker than I have before. I used to just chase after things and try to make them happen way too long. All right, so now, I'll try this, see if this works. Slide that back to here. I was not, yeah, it was not lost on me how that did look like. It did immediately remind me of the sphere.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's topical,
Yeah,
applicable.
it's where we're at. All right, so to line this up, and some scaling may have to happen. We should make this a group. And I'll just align it by middle. So I'm going to come this way to the middle of this. Come this way to the middle of this. I'll grab this and move it vertically to here. Looks just like it. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so these definitely come out too far, these pieces right here. So it also looks like, it's about the same profile size. So I'll come in here, grab this, slide that back. $10.25. In case you were wondering, that's how far back that was. 10.25. 10.25 and oops. Did that thing where I bumped my mouse on the edge of my desk again. 10.25. All right, there we go. Make that into a group. And I feel like looking at where these sit on the head, I want to put them like on the side like this, but it looks like they're a little bit forward of that. So I think what I'm going to do, yeah, let's grab it by the middle. Come over here and find that is too small. But maybe it's not that far. No, it is a little bit small. Now I got to figure out, because what I want to do is I want to take just this part and make it bigger. Looks better. Because I want to keep this, because these pieces look like they're pretty much the same. So I'll do the same thing I did before. Grab that piece, drag it up some even 1'3". There we go.
Patrick says the challenge is half the fun.
I have fun every day then. Yeah, this is not to scale. I'm offsetting this over a foot right here. Okay, and then all right, and now take that whole thing, set it back so it's just inside the surface like that. And now I will rotate it from the very top point just so that it's like that. Maybe that'll work. All right, and then I'll just take that one and use my my buddy the flip command. So, ooh, goody. This is a problem.
Oh, what?
So I want to flip it along the vertical face of the helmet, but I can't do that because when you use flip, it starts with the red, green, blue axes are based on the axes of the selected thing. So right now the group I have selected. So what I'll have to do instead is find a way to inference a flat surface. So this right here is a flat surface. And then drag that flat surface to the middle to get that to mirror on the other side. That was cool. I like that. Awesome. We're getting there. We got what looks like an extruded circle right here. So let's get that did. Circle. Yeah. Pull that up. Done. All right, so I'm going to move that again. I'll move from the center. I will pick kind of an arbitrary point right there. And then I can use rotate to rotate it this direction and rotate it this direction.
Kegi says toggle global.
Oh, does that affect? I was not sure if that affected that or not. All right.
Yeah, he says toggle global on the flip command.
Okay. We'll get another opportunity. I'm gonna start here with a circle here, bring this up like this. I don't know what this thing is, but I'm gonna model a thing that looks like it. I'm gonna offset that, and then got some little runners coming out like this. I'll just drop those straight down.
John says it's a hatch for his lunch.
Perfect. Lunch hatch. How do we go talking about food again? I'm hungry again.
Right.
All right, and then I'll take this. I'm going to push up like that because it looks like it goes up. And then over here, I'm going to pull these out because I got these little wing things coming out there. So I'm going to have those come out like maybe that and then push them up. Because I'm drawing onto the round part of the circle here. Oops, hold up, back up. Let's mirror that first, or flip, if you will. There we go, and then clean up. And then got something like a circle right here that kind of goes up and then meets with that. So we'll start with a square. Like that.
Lawrence says it's a regulation escape valve. Okay.
Yeah. That was my initial thought. But yeah, now Lawrence backed me up. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it might be.
IDK is saying, how can I add a SketchUp model to Roblox Studio? Ooh.
IDK.
IDK.
I honestly don't know a thing about Roblox.
Yeah, your kids are a little older for that.
Yeah.
To have been in your house, huh?
Yeah, not a caught the tail end of Minecraft, but
IDK says, "Ha, that was a nice response."
Nothing if not witty. How's that? All right, so I'm going to put a circle right here because I want this half circle bit. I can then...
Randy says it's a head scratching valve. And then Ahmad says maybe it's a place to smoke a cigarette because, back then.
Not untrue. Actually, I'm going to get this on axis. This is not working brilliantly for me, so I'm going to turn this so it's on axis. And now I can do stuff like take this and drag it down. I'm looking at this square like I got to align with it or something. It's totally arbitrary, so I'm going to go down that far. And then over here, I'm going to say another circle right here. Like that. And then all I really want of all this is that shape right there. And now with that shape, I can just take that mirror that. Oops. Oh, so I was right before.
Yeah.
Option mirror that, erase that edge too, and then take that. Option click, 3x, erase it, and then give that some depth. Triple click and soften, smooth that to get rid of that. Boom, there we go. Make that into a group, and now I can move that. Find the middle point. There's the middle point. Right, line that to the middle point of this guy right here. And then, yeah, move it up just a touch. There we go. And there's that thing. So take that and then rotate it vertically this way, and I'm going to turn it like 45 degrees this way. And it's actually going to angle down a little bit. I'm trying to pre-angle it first this time, and then we'll move it from that center point. Why do I have a hole in my helmet? What's going on around this place? All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to kind of rotate it. Let me just be clear, I could be much more specific with this alignment process. This is one of those situations where nobody needs a video card model or live stream again where we try to do precision stuff for absolutely no reason. There we go. And
well, I guess the benefit is that nobody's going to need to wear this.
That's true, which is a good thing because apparently holes are just popping into the side. I'm guessing that, I mean, SketchUp doesn't just throw away geometry, so something I'm doing is causing that to happen. I don't know what it is. Awesome, we got that, and now this thing. I don't know about this thing, so I'm gonna make a thing.
Is it an effect of like mirroring something and it accidentally mirrored a hole? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what I did. Like I said, I'm taking responsibility. I'm gonna say I probably did do it, but I don't know what I did. All right. So we're just gonna put something like that. Oops. Thing that sticks out this side. This is the thing.
Randy says there's holes because it hasn't been pressure tested.
I was figuring it was something like that. Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe we just did the pressure test and failed. Not quite that far. And it looks like we've got like a little handle here. So I'm going to do this, come up here, do this. Oops. There we go. Do that. Follow me. Get that. I have to rescale a little bit, but that group. Yeah, let's scale this down. Grab it by that point right there. That point's going to line to the center of this circle right here. And then we'll slide it on. There, that's a that.
That is a that.
Did. Ew, I like that.
Tomas is asking, what's the control on your left hand?
Huh. What, this old thing? This right here
Something?
is a 3D mouse. It is made to move the viewport around in 3D space, similar to what is normally done with the old orbit command, but this gives a little bit more control of moving the camera. It is not a requirement when using SketchUp. In fact, most people use SketchUp their entire careers and don't have one, but I pity them. I feel bad for them because they're missing out. A 3D mouse lets you, does a couple things. One is it gives like much more granular control over the view. So over here where I'd be doing this and then this kind of stuff to try to zoom exactly where I want, with the 3D mouse, I can grab this little puck right here and I can just move very smoothly. So I do this for your benefit because there's like a brain-body connection when you're orbiting. You're spinning around and you can have these nice, this jerky, jumpy movements, but it's okay because your brain expects it because your body's doing it. Not so when you're watching someone else do it. That jerking, jumping around can be a little bit rough sometimes. So the 3D mouse makes that just kind of makes it a little bit easier to do. The other thing that's nice is because it separates viewing from this to this, while I'm spinning around here, I could go grab another tool, or I could go, clean up my windows over there. I could do that kind of thing while moving around because it separates view from moving the actual mouse. So yeah, an awesome tool. I highly recommend it to anybody who is a full-time designer, both because it will make you a faster designer having this extra tool, but also for presentations. The smoothness of moving around your model like this cannot beat. It's just the best way to experience it. It does take work. You have to practice if you want to do that with a 3D mouse for sure. All right, so I kind of heard somebody say something about stuff on the back. All right, we can put a couple of hoses or a couple thingies in the back. I'm looking at the picture that Gusbert threw up on. Sorry, this is a bad time to pause. Gusbert didn't throw up anything. Gusbert placed a couple images up on the forum, and yeah, there's basically a couple hoses or metal bits that come out and hang down here. We'll do that. We'll make that. Mostly because I want to just do this. We're gonna draw a line like this. Draw a line like.
Oh, so as a follow-up to your Space Mouse comment, Thomas
Yes.
says, do you think it would be faster with an iPad? I've been discussing a lot about how the iPad makes movement faster versus a computer with a couple of friends. So
I
that's
I don't want to start a whole what's better, Mac or PC kind of thing here, but um, I will say the tool that you have practiced with is probably the one that's quickest. So I know, like
yeah.
Donovan actually started learning on
Yes.
iPad. So for
Yes. And
him,
I primarily model on iPad too. So I my answer would be it's way more intuitive on iPad, at least for me, than it is on computer.
right, and I would say again, I've been using SketchUp on desktop for too long to really count. Doesn't matter. Years, years.
We'll just say years. Yep.
So for me, trying to use something else, I it's slower for me on iPad. I mean, it's good. There's a lot of cool tools. I use the iPad a lot for all kinds of stuff, but not as much for SketchUp because for me it's so much quicker to jump on here and model like this. Um, but really, it really all comes down to what you're used to. Because uh, if you learn on iPad like Donovan, he's just quicker. I mean, he's Donovan probably models quicker on iPad than I do because I don't spend enough time on it. I don't haven't learned. I'm not good at it. So yeah, it really comes down to what you're used to.
Yep. So Bill had a comment. Says you could be more precise if you have a radial line from the center of the sphere penetrating the surface of the helmet and the center of the line end with a slide the group down from the line with move. Hmm.
Or you could inference this point right here, which I feel like you kind of read my mind there because what I was thinking of doing for these two pieces right here. Oops.
Randy says guitars are more intuitive than pianos for guitarists.
I absolutely, yeah. I mean this. I mean I said that thing about Mac PC because that just came up. Just recently, somebody said what's better, and I always say, I mean, I know we could go into all kinds of arguments with that, but it's never an argument worth having. But I always tell people, you know, what are you used to? What do you want to use? Because if somebody really wants to use iPad, then that's probably going to be the best solution for them.
Ooh, Randy says they still have to make a left-handed option for iPad, for SketchUp for iPad.
That is true. It is a righty thing. I thought at one point they were talking about changing the UI, but I don't remember. I don't know what happened to that, where it went. All right, so I'm gonna take that from the middle, take that middle point, scoot that over this way, 20 degrees. I'm saying 20 degrees like I know or that matters at all, but then we'll take this one and we'll scoot this one. Mostly because I like symmetry more than anything else. We'll go this way, 20 degrees.
Ooh, Studio RT cool. I'm gonna say this wrong. Danny Mappin? Danny Mappin? Started on iPad, and I believe she's showing her process at 3D Basecamp.
Oh, yeah. Danny
Am I,
has some very cool looking models.
am I saying that right? Danny Mappin?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But I will say that I have watched her work on, or like not watched her physically work, but I've seen her work on the forum, and it's very cool. And she did come in specifically on SketchUp for iPad. So again, what you're used to. is probably going to be the best tool for you.
Lauren says, ask Aaron how to model a sphere without all those small triangles converging at the top and bottom.
Download it from 3D Warehouse. All right. Being that it is the time that it is, I'm going to call this one done right here. That was cool. That was a fun model. We were talking, we couldn't remember exactly where the suggestion came from, but that was definitely a fun one to get to model. I deleted the reference image so you guys can't say if I missed anything. But no, in all seriousness, I like that. That was a fun one. I was traveling, and there's a 7-hour time difference, but I saw a little bit of Tyson's model. We did the cider mill, and I was watching it going, that's so cool. Look, he's doing all these discrete parts and putting them together. I want to do something like that. So that's how this came about. Yeah, turned out pretty cool. Hopefully you guys liked that. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you enjoyed that.
Everybody in the comments is chiming up saying, looks great. Awesome model. Well done. Right. Another masterclass.
Feel free to ban anybody who says I missed anything. That's how I'm going to roll from now on. Full on aggression. That's just the way to do it. But yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for watching this. Hope, like I said, learned something, picked up something. If you have some ideas of what you think would make a cool model, I know we got that building suggestion, but if you have something you think would make a good model, leave it in the comments. We do read these comments. We do watch them. We don't catch everything. Sometimes we'll have hundreds of comments over a stream, so we don't catch every single thing. But we usually leave the chat live for a little while we shut things down. So feel free to leave ideas in there, or just let us know in the forum or on the YouTube channel. We do read all that stuff, and we do take in what you suggest. So for now, we're going to say thank you very much. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself, and we will talk to you next week. We'll be here, Halloween model. So everybody make sure you wear your costumes. And we'll be modeling something spooky. It'll be fun. All right. See you guys next week.
See ya.